now beaming into NerdFT Radio.
This is NerdFT Radio, where nerds full-time, explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, a.k.a. Jason Tatum's #1 fan. Go Celtics. And I'm here with Crypto Crier, a.k.a. Further in Zelda Crier.
What's up, buddy?
I should have just made my a.k.a. Zelda noob, because I got a story for you, Crier. Before we get into NFTs, let's talk about this brand new Zelda game. Number 1, Tears of the Kingdoms is hands down game of the year this year.
I believe it.
Unbelievable. This game is remarkable, beautiful, challenging, fun, the whole nine. You think back to Breath of the Wild, you're like, how can they make it better? And they literally made it better.
Yeah.
So,
really,
Crier, how's everything going on your side? Because I have a story for you after.
I'm not super far. I just finished like the initial Sky Island thing, which is really cool, and I'm now on Hyrule. But just the first couple hours of playthrough are just so much fun. Like they made it to Breath of the Wild was such a big step for them, I think, just in the game category.
100%.
Like it was like going from this completely on rail system to now like a
open
world, do whatever the hell you want. You can either spend hours upon hours completing everything, or you can beat the game in like 45 minutes if you just want to go straight to the boss and you're a badass. So I think it's such a cool aspect of the game to make it just super open world and all the crafting and all the stuff. But now they've taken it like even a step further and made it
level,
so cool. Like the changes to all the how your arm functions and like the skills, and they tweaked just a couple things. It wasn't even like that big of a tweak, but they just made it so much more interesting. And the whole, like they have a whole new system of travel essentially, where you're creating these contraptions to move you across the map. And I like each time you're moving to a new area, it's a puzzle. Like I literally spent like an hour trying to find how to even get to the next shrine, because it like is not easy. Like it was definitely something where, okay, I have to think about how to get up to this level to then go down to this area. I'm like, oh yeah, it was tough. But I mean, yeah, I've only played, like I said, I've only played a couple hours so far, and I love it. It's great.
No, I agree 110%. The game's phenomenal. Now, I gotta be honest with you, though. Number 1, the only thing that multiple things piss me off right now. Number 1 is obviously, you guys all know I'm Xbox, everything, controller, the whole nine. The one thing that always pisses me off about Switch, Nintendo as a whole, or it could just be Xbox also, you can take it on both ends. The controller is the opposite. The A, B, the X, Y, they're all different. So I'm obviously trying to play the game, and I think I'm playing Destiny, Halo, Call of Duty, and I'm pressing the wrong buttons. It's just, it doesn't come natural. Where if I picked up a Halo, a Call of Duty, a Destiny, Battlefield, whatever the case may be, it feels natural. So obviously take some time to be custom or be familiar with what's going on. So that's going to take some time. I haven't played Breath of the Wild in 2-3 years. So it's been some time. So that's number 1. I'm jumping when I'm supposed to run. I'm running when I'm supposed to jump.
On that one. I use a USB controller device. You can use any controller.
You can use any controller. You can use the Xbox controller. Okay.
That's definitely that's what I use.
I have my Pro controller.
Magic NS or whatever.
Okay, I do have the Pro controller, so like it's just, I know how this goes. It happened to me last time. I just give me like a week and I'll be fine. So we're good on that side. Unfortunately, I will be putting Destiny 2 on the back burner for this. Second thing, so I finished 2 of the shrines. That's what they're called?
Yeah.
2 shrines. I'm going to the ice one for the third one, right? I go all the way to the top of the ice, and I'm being told now that instead of what I did, which was, ooh, look, a waterfall, look at things at the bottom, jump off, I should have went upwards behind the cave I came in. So because of that, your boy literally needs to run all the way to the beginning, and it is taking so long for me, because I'm going to say another thing. I suck at building, even though it's so
far
easy
from that area.
Bro, I don't want to talk about it. Like I literally have to go. I looked it online. People did it the whole nine. I literally have to go to the beginning to do everything back.
I know, but have you been playing around on that area a long time? Because you can load your previous autosave.
I've been playing a while. I tried to kill myself multiple times, didn't work. So yeah, It's been rough, but I've been having fun. I was definitely half asleep playing it last night, and that's why it happened. Wink, that's just what I'm telling people. But yeah, that's what it's going. But besides the issues I'm having with the controller, besides the issues that I had with jumping off a mountain when I thought I was supposed to, the game is absolutely phenomenal. Again, it's just getting. It takes me some time.
It's
Like
a lot more difficult feeling. Like it's very
it
much
feels a little bit more
so
difficult.
like a lot more puzzle. That's what I like about Zelda a lot.
Yeah.
Is puzzles are always
And
so cool.
that's why I'm starting to like Destiny 2 because of the puzzle aspect of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzle
it's not
stuff.
just a shooter type thing, so it's a lot better. I will say that obviously there's a lot more things going on. In Call of Duty, it's very straightforward. You have 2 guns, you have your kill streaks, jump up, down, stun, grenade, that's shoot, and that's it. Halo, you can jump higher, same exact stuff. Go to Destiny 2, you have to click one of the start buttons to then go on the vehicle. You have to open up stuff, their stats. So I was already complaining about like the difficulty of having to do extra. Now we get to Zelda and the difficulty of opening up your food, opening up your crossbow, opening up your swords. It's just a lot more in it. Like I said, I'll complain for the first week or two, but afterwards, once I get the hang of it, we're good to go. But again, there's actually a speed runner. Like I did really like what you mentioned. There's individuals like, hey, listen, you want to just go through the game? I remember at one point in Breath of the Wild, I was like, all right, I'm done doing the side stuff. Let me just beat the game. I beat the game and I was only 19% done with the full game. There's actually a speed runner. I forgot the name, but shout out to this person. They beat the game the fastest time. Obviously, this was 2 days ago, so someone probably already beat it, but it was 96 minutes. So an hour and 36 minutes, game's over. So you are able to speed run through it. Now, is that enjoyable for people? Some for content, but others, they're going to take their time. Like you said, Crier, do some more things. Exactly. I know I'm a type of person that always says, hey,
96 minutes that's fucking impressive because
that's impressive. It's a lot going on. But what I was going to mention was I know I'm a type of person, like even on the GTA side or even Destiny or things like that. What I always say, hey, I love this game. Or Cyberpunk. I'm going to play for so long. I love it. But the second I finish the main campaign, I always just put down the game. So hopefully on this side of it, I will take my time, don't rush it, etc., so that I can go ahead and enjoy the game to its full capacity on that side. But other than that, we'll talk Zelda some other time. Let's go ahead and talk about the main thing that's going around in the NFT space. Other than NFTs doing their thing right now, not so dead, but before we get into that, let's talk about, like I said, the big topic, which is Ledger. So reports have come out on the Ledger side that it doesn't there. How do I explain this, Crier? Pretty much in smooth brain talk, because that's who I am for the podcast listeners here. Smooth brain talk. Imagine if there was a backdoor and the company of Ledger says, we're never going to use that backdoor, but there's a backdoor. That's the issue at hand here, and that's what a lot of people have discovered. So, Crier, give me the bumpy brain take of this.
So I think the idea here is that Ledger is a hardware wallet. You're supposed to be the least amount of backdoors or least amount of attack vectors as possible with this new update. So if you're on 2.2.1 of a Ledger device on Nanos, the new Nano S, like the newer version of the Nano S Plus, those will be affected by this. But essentially, it's an opt-in program to have 3 companies store encrypted versions of your seed phrase, right? I've seen a lot of backlash on it. I personally don't really care for it. I'm not going to be updating my Ledger past this 2.2 for my Nano X, but the old Ledger Nanos have no problem with this because the old Nano S does not have compatibility with this. So I've seen a couple things, but I agree with people that are mad. I've been mad at Ledger before. They've already had a data breach.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. We talked about this. I get mail from shitty crypto companies wanting me to invest because I was part of their data breach in 2019 or some shit. Their whole entire purpose is to be as secure as possible. It is opening up a new attack vector if you're opting into it, and we don't know to what extent the backdoor of this actually entails, right? If a European country or France or they subpoena Ledger, are they able to gather up those seeds and give them to the government, right? If that's the case, then what's the fucking point? Like, why do we even have this device? we don't know how exactly it's going to function, but for me, don't opt in if you don't like that idea, right? If you don't care and you don't think it's a big deal, which a lot of people do, it makes it easier. Like if you lose your seed phrase, now you have a backup. So it's really up to your personal taste. But my personal thought is I'm not updating them. The old Ledger Nano doesn't have the compatibility with this anyways. So I'm going to move my larger assets that I want on to the older one. And then I'm going to keep the Nano S at 2.2 firmware. So we'll see.
So I want to talk a little bit more about what you just said right there, where you have that backup. Obviously, it's been known that a lot of people have gone into the NFT space, gone into the crypto space, and they unfortunately didn't write down, take a picture, put in their notes. Even if you're not supposed to take a picture, put in your notes, like at least you did at first, and then you deleted it, and then you put it somewhere safe. I actually had, without saying any names, I had someone at work that unfortunately did not get their 12 password or their 12 word seed phrase. And because of that, he literally straight up said, Mateo, I'm done. I'm done with crypto. I'm done with NFTs. Like, it sucks. And it's really a shitty situation. And yes, it is. Absolutely. And what Ledger is now trying to,
like,
he couldn't, like,
he
literally, it's in his Coinbase wallet and Zerion, if I'm not mistaken. And literally, he did not write it down. And he spent like a full day trying to see if he took a picture of it, wrote it down somewhere, etc. Nowhere to be found, anything. And he's down on it. He straight up told me I'm done with it because of this. So now there's obviously a lot of people have done this. We know about the guy that in New York that he literally dumpster dives for the past, like, how many years trying to find his ledger that had a boatload. So a bunch of stuff on that.
The dumps and stuff like that.
Yeah. So things like that, obviously on one side. On the other side, the regular consumer that unfortunately didn't do that when they first started. A lot of people discouraged and have left the space because of that. Others, they learn from it. It's a part of the process, getting scammed, losing your 12 word seed phrase, etc. Then you just become stronger. You become better and be based on what happened in the past, based on the experience that you've went through. But what Ledger's trying to do here, it looks like at least, is having that opportunity of helping those individuals, which it happens more than we probably know, right?
Yeah. I feel like the people that's going to be helped by this is going to outweigh the number of people that are like affected by the change 100%. Of not updating it or
100%
backfiring. Exactly. Or, again, there's trade-offs, but just how we've seen a lot of developments recently. We saw the account abstraction EIP come out, so you can link it to a email or something like that, so you make it even easier. You can set up your mom with a wallet, all using her email or whatever, just making it very simple for them. Put an NFT in there for them. It makes it to where that's going to be the future of all this stuff. There's got to be a way. It's what my idea and thought process of crypto is a lot different than the average person that will be joining crypto to use in the future. Yeah. And if you do, I think it also goes down to like how the meme coins took off too. Like my whole thought process previously with all this stuff is, we got to show them the way, do these things right, blah, blah, blah. But meet them where they're interested. And everyone's shitting on Ledger because they offer a opt-in thing. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like people are going to be turned off by that. People coming in and being like, "Oh, I bought this Ledger for $120. Now everyone's telling me that it's not as safe." Or not as like, I don't know. I just my take here is, if you don't want to do it, don't opt in, and if you really don't want to do it, then switch companies. Right? Get Trezor or get something else, and I guarantee you, some of these other companies will probably do the same thing in the future. Right? Keep your devices on older firmware if you want to protect yourself from this, or complaining about it.
Exactly. Now, I will say here, I'll take the other side of it. So obviously on the Ledger side, in an ideal world, and on our side as well, what would be the best route, I personally think, would obviously be Ledger. Instead of just having software update, firmware update, here, click this. Everyone already knows that when Apple releases their updates, do you guys read? No. Do you guys read? No, they click them, but do they read it?
Don't read it.
No.
I mean,
I know on my Tesla, like the updates, like half the people I know, they just click update and that's it. Now on the Android, your computer, Google Chrome,
everything,
anything you can think of, no one, like very little amount of people actually read it, which then that leads to them being signed up for a human centipede. Shout out to South Park for that one. What I wanted to say was, in an ideal world, obviously what would happen here is Ledger gives you the option, like in big letters, hey, if you go this route, this is what's going to happen, and make it for the smooth brain individuals. Hey, here's this. Now here's this. Which one do you want? Go ahead and do it. Now, they obviously, with all the heat, all the FUD they've been receiving, they actually went on a Spaces, and I unfortunately wasn't able to attend the Spaces, but at work I was actually, it is recorded, so I would check it out if you're very interested in this and want more information other than me just saying what I read in a group chat on Twitter of mad people in the NFT space that are, probably not the best, but this is what I've heard is that the individuals in that Spaces were pretty much saying, listen, if you don't like Ledger, don't use Ledger. If you like Ledger, use Ledger. And if that is true on that sense, that is one of the worst ways of answering the FUD and answering people that are upset. Come out with a solution instead of saying, do this or do that's all you got. So again, hopefully that they listen, they are heard. Obviously, when we think about Web3, we think about community, we think about feedback, we think about building together. And a lot of these NFT projects, a lot of these cryptos, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, a lot of all these like companies in said Web3 have been pretty good with taking feedback and implementing it. So let's see if Ledger comes in with a actual solution. Don't come in just saying yes or no.
If so my other podcast, Hold On to Tricks, if I told John that they did this, he would be all over it. Super excited.
Yes.
The old dogs
100%.
in this world will be
100%.
Now it's protected and they don't care if there's a third party safe person. Like that's like a newer thing. They don't understand the trustless environment aspect of crypto. So I guarantee you he's all over this. He'll be like, oh yeah, perfect. I'll definitely do that.
I'll have to tell my friend at work too. Yeah.
There's wins and if you want the space to succeed, there has to be options for any person that wants
mass adoption. Correct. Yeah. And obviously the first movers in this space,
to get people more comfortable.
Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about, where if we want mass adoption, we need trust, we need comfort, we need like people to be familiar with what's going on, and to tell someone that if you don't have those 12 words and you give this access, whatever, it's gone, you lose it, etc. That's extremely scary from the side of where they're coming from, where if they lose their money in their banks, if they lose their money, like whatever the case may be on the money side, they're pretty much guaranteed that they're going to get that money back based on credit card protection, banks protecting it, etc., whatever the case may be. So now we come into here where it can be gone by a click of a link, etc., even though there is credit card fraud and bad links, phishing links in video games as well, and all this stuff. But again, there are individuals that will look at this and be like, hey, this is what we want to go ahead and do. So now let's go into the next topic, which is obviously the NFT market as a whole. I came in, obviously, you and I, we always talk like a little bit before the show, and you're like, hey, let's talk about the NFT market and how well it's doing. NFTs are not dead, which then led me to go over to the NFTs that I own, because you are an absolute lunatic. NFTs are dead. All my shit's down. So what NFTs are you talking about, Crier? Because I don't have shit right now. So let's hear it, Crier. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess they're not dead in the sense that if you have the ones that have been getting a lot of traction, we got Pudgy Penguins, or we got checks doubled, Bored Apes stopped dying, they're stuck where they are now. Stable. But the thing is like ETH is coming down. Now we're going to, me personally, I think now NFTs will go up. That's how they work usually. But again, stuff that has been, captains are crushing it. They just broke like a 9 ETH. Those were like 4 ETH. Like a month ago, 2 months ago. Those are the stuff that's been producing stuff or doing something has been gaining value. Azukis are still, I'm sure, I haven't checked, but I'm sure they're the same as they always are, right? They're like around 15 or 13 or some shit.
Yeah, 15.169.
So yeah, whatever.
On OpenSea. Yeah, go ahead.
The idea here is ETH goes up, NFTs down, ETH down, NFT up. That's you like how the smooth brain explanation that you like so much.
Thank you.
But no, my thought process is they're not, as long as they're not like dying versus ETH, which they had been for a while, I think that's a good move. We've had the last couple ETH pump. The previous ETH pump, NFTs died again. Like we had a lot of the bigger ones like Doodles and Moonbirds, and they were all still above that like 5 ETH, 6 ETH floor. Those got hit really hard on that last ETH pump, and they didn't recover when ETH kind of fell again. So this is the first time where I'm seeing some of them gain some life, and I do think it's more on the fact that like meme coins came out, people were able to get some money, and or liquidity was moving around a little bit more, and I think a lot of the NFT or the meme coin like spark came from NFT communities.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I do think that
we were so bored. We had to do something.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these people are now seeing them. They're like reaching that probably crab and move around here at the same price for a long time. You know how like Pepe and all these things were probably chill for a bit. Now people are like, the hype is a little bit going down. They want to go back into the communities that they were either enjoying from afar or wanted to get into. They're going to gain some good holders here, I think, personally.
So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance that for the last 2 years, we haven't been wasting our money, our ETH, and our time on all these things that we're doing. That's awesome.
100%.
I will say, guys, listen, at the end of the day, you should probably be listening to Crier more than me, because once again, on my side, not only on the shitcoin side, but also on the NFT side, I'm down bad. The only thing that I've gotten lucky with is the Pharrell airdrop from Doodles, which I'm going to bag hold, and I'm going to lose out on a full ETH probably because I didn't sell. So it is what it is. But the one thing you did mention on the cider, when you were talking, I said producing. And of course, there are other projects that are producing that we're seeing. Gutter just released a brand new thing with LaMelo Ball. Cool Cats has been doing their fracture side of things. Deadfellas has been just partnering with a bunch of people. And again, that is something, but obviously from the community standpoint of the full NFT space, that's not enough to push it further, like the floor price, push the needle on the floor price. At least, are people still buying into said communities? Absolutely. You see every day a new Cool Cat, a new Deadfella, a new Doodle, maybe not a new Gutter, but all these other projects coming in where people are coming in and it's slowly moving the needle. Now, when NFTs were popping off, there was just so much money in here. And obviously, like, we had Franklin in his prime. We had Machi in his prime. We had all these whales in their prime just going ham as well. And with all those reports that we had from the Dune reports where 51% were wash trades, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen here. Obviously, we still are waiting for a lot of these companies that are going to come into the space. Typically, when things are this, like, when they're bad is when the Microsofts, the Apples, the et cetera, come into the space when no one's paying attention. They accumulate the crap out of everything. And they're like, surprise. Remember when we said this wasn't actually going to work? And you know what? We take that back. It's going to work. But by the way, we did more research. And for the last year, we've been accumulating all these people to work for us, all these NFTs and all these partnerships. We just didn't want to tell anyone. And here you go. And they're just going to make a crap ton of money. So we probably will see that with an Amazon or an Apple or a Disney that just comes out and say, hey, we bought XYZ. We did this. So it is what it is. We'll go ahead and see what's going on that side. But let's talk about one of those projects that obviously is, it's the number one project in the space, which is Bored Ape. So obviously a lot of people know Bored Apes for the apes, but of course they've gone in a different direction with a lot of things. The other side,
down the rabbit hole,
vessels. There's so much crap, codas, everything. Codas. So what's going on here is that we have what is called Legends of the Mara. Mara, we're going to go with Mara here. This is the brand new storyline that's going to open up into the other side. It's going to open up into gaming. And what you mentioned earlier, Crier, it's funny seeing all the Bored Apes say, oh, it looks like we got to become gamers now. Crier, let me explain to me what is this new step and what's going to happen, because obviously we in the last 2 years we've seen a lot of projects say, oh, here's our game, here's this, it's so simple, all you have to do is click a few buttons, and now here comes Yuga with this massive complicated amount of stuff that are just like, are we expecting the space to like, oh yeah, we're gonna do all this complicated stuff, because the easy stuff you weren't doing that either. So Crier, what's going on this side?
So yeah, so this is all attached to the other side. We've recently had your other side was converted into an other side expanded NFT, which you then got a vessel. The vessels are going to be like a part of the whole other side ecosystem. So there was 3 different types. You got a hunter, a farmer, and enchanters. Those are all corresponded to the expanded NFT you received. You had a chance of getting each one. Now they're going to break it down into, are they going to be hunting on it or gathering materials on it? You can choose what they do on your land. So it's turning into a full-fledged game. We don't know what to expect yet. There hasn't been a ton of information. This is just like a little thread that they released. But eventually it looks like there's going to be seasons as well. But you're farming or gathering materials then to transform your Mara into a Coda Mara. So there's going to be, that's going to be another thing with traits, looks like, as well. So there's going to be a lot of aspects of floor differences. Like I feel like someone who is really tuned into what all of these things do in the ecosystem, the nuances between all the different vessels and lands and sediment factors, are going to be able to probably make a lot of money here. People that are very niched into all this stuff, because there's going to be a lot of volume, I guarantee it. And I think the idea, Yuga always has the most, I don't know, clout or eyes on them pretty much when they release something. If this doesn't do well, I think it'll be a big problem. But knowing them, they probably will release something pretty awesome.
No, I definitely agree. Now, obviously, you and I are looking at what Zelda has done here, what Nintendo has done here on the side of a company that's been doing this for ages and ages, multi-billion-dollar company, has the backstories, has the IP, the whole nine. Now, on the flip side, Web3, we're taking it a step that's different, which is transparency and building with community and building things before the game is actually out, and literally like showing the roadmap of everything. We're not used to this whatsoever in the Web 2 side of things. The Web 2 side of things is the release dates in 2 years, a year and a half. Here's like some clips, and it's always the trailers that at the bottom say this is not real gameplay. So like you really don't know what to expect at the end of it. Does this scare you at all that all this information is coming out? This is how it's going to be. This is what's going on. Here's how you can take advantage of it. And then when the game comes out, obviously the first few betas that are the alphas, are they betas or alphas?
I think they're alphas, yeah.
The alphas, the first few alphas, like you've been in them, you've had good feedback on it. Hopefully that keeps on happening. But now we're getting into more complicated stuff. Now, are you at all worried about this route that these Web3 companies, specifically Bored Ape, is doing?
I'm not super worried about it. I think gaming is one of the most rapidly growing sectors. You saw how much, I don't know how many eyes came on to Yuga when they had their Dookie Dash stuff come out. We saw big time streamers coming into it. So
when you say big time streamers, there was only it's a handful. Obviously, one of them.
I mean, it was previously zero.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Millions of eyes on it. People have a lot of followers. They're not like they were. Mongrel has like a lot.
I am on your side here. I was thinking out of turn there. Yes, 100%.
I mean, obviously, it's not like the top streamers, but it's going from literally none to wow, this is not a scam to oh wow, this guy made $1 million off like a NFT for playing a game. That's fucking crazy. I think the thought process here is if it does well, it's going to gather eyes just like it did last time. If it's a flop, it's going to be detrimental to the entire space, I think. So, but I don't think, I think gaming is the right move. I think gaming for NFTs is the best use case. I think companies that are going this route and actually have a good product will do really well. The PFP and stuff like that, it's just how the first iteration of technology is. I think there will always be, they had a new standard for NFTs also coming out, the 6.8 8.5 or whatever. So you can now nest NFTs inside it. So your NFT acts as a wallet essentially. So you can have like your Bored Ape can be the wallet that now holds your dog and your mutant and your blah blah, blah and the vessel and your other deeds, and those can all then be transferred together as a character as you would in so say you wanted to sell your RuneScape your stuff now it can all be transferred as a unit,
all in
right?
one. Okay.
So I mean, there's a lot of the innovations in NFTs are coming down in the gaming side of it. I feel like nesting is good.
Don't you think we should probably like mass adopt first before we now get into complicated ass shit? Like, I feel like.
What if it just starts that way? So say you make a game.
Yeah.
You make a character. Your character is now an NFT wallet that you don't even know it's a wallet that's backed up with your account extracted email address. Like they don't even know that this has happened. So they've used like these 3 EIPs have now happened in the past year. Account abstraction by email. Now log in and it's super easy. The nesting portion is now your account. So you create a character that everything that every item that you earn is now stored in this wallet that's the character. Again, all these things eventually will be obfuscated away. You won't even see any of it. These are giant leaps for this entire space.
Yeah, no, I'll agree on that side. I just look at it where
it does sound more complicated. I get what you're getting.
It's
all
more
these numbers
absolutely. But here, listen, if you think about anything, the stock market, you think about the crypto side, blockchain, NFTs, you think about video games. I'll say something. I'll make it even simpler. Breath of the Wild. That there's cooking in Breath of the Wild. You can make stuff. I'll be honest with you. I never cooked in Breath of the Wild, like ever. I just figured it out my own and just did my thing. Here, they're making, now that you've played a full game and now they're making you like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're becoming said expert. So with these levels of protections, let's go all the way back to Ledger. Go all the way back before then. You start out with a Coinbase. You start out with a Robinhood. After you use it, you're like, wow, I get it. I have a full understanding of this. Then you go to the next step, which is you get your own ledger. You move your Robinhood to Fidelity, Charles Schwab, etc. Something bigger, something safer, something harder to use, but you're at that next level. So here with said NFTs, more gamers coming into the space, understanding of what's going on. You probably got scammed 2 or 3 times. You probably lost your wallet 4 or 5. Now you're an expert. You're ready to go. And with all these new features, it's going to allow those said people which is a smaller, it's a smaller group of people, but those are going to be those are the core people. Those are the people that are the ones you want in the space, the ones you probably want in your community. So obviously we're still, I just flipped myself just talking. We want what you're saying. We want this because those people are going to stay in there. They're going to learn more. They're going to be those core members that are going to then help, like you and I always do on these podcasts, help the other people into understanding what is going on. And that is what we want. And hopefully we don't forget about the little guy, the older guy, the older women, the younger kids that don't have a clue about any of this. And we still need to make it as simple as possible for them to hopefully have a full understanding of what we're talking about right now. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. Keep building. Keep rocking and rolling. One last thing I wanted to talk about so we can wrap this up. You've actually been playing Marvel Snap pretty consecutively, Crier. I've been seeing you talk about it. You're building some dope decks.
I missed that, Lord. I thought it was a day, and it was whatever. What's the guy? The new guy?
Oh, Space Lad. Jesus Christ, Iron Lad. I just said Space Lad.
I missed the buy window on that, so
he's good. I've always been a person that, this in this game at least, I hate uncertainty, and he has an uncertainty factor. Because you don't know what's going to happen. It's randomized what you're going to get. So he's good though. He's very good to put in any deck he'll fit in, which is the good part. But the one thing I did want to mention is they actually just did a patch as we were doing the podcast. For you to level up, you need to have 10 cubes. They've brought that down to 7 cubes. And the other thing that has been added is if you go and check right now and you update your game, you're going to get a brand new card, which is Kitty, which she was out a little while ago, but she was having problems. And now they took her off the game and they fixed the problem. And they said a few months back or a month and a half ago, when we bring her back, everyone's getting her go ahead and have her. We're figure it out. She's an awesome card. So that's happening. The third thing I did want to mention, one of the most famous decks in Marvel Snap is the Wave She-Hulk deck, which turn 5, you throw Wave, She-Hulk becomes a 2, and you can throw anything else, a 6, whatever you want. So a lot of people love that deck. Unfortunately, our girl Wave has been nerfed, which means the Wave decks are now destroyed and gone. So
I mean, that was really overpowered, I think, personally.
Oh, I got me from 60 all the way to 80, if I'm not mistaken. 110%, very much overpowered. Crier, I did want to ask you before we ended up, what deck are you currently using that you're seeing some success with?
I've been doing the double. What's the dinosaur one?
Devil Dinosaur.
So pretty much I'm just trying to get Moon Girl to copy two Devil
Okay,
Swords.
so you're doing a Moon Girl Dinosaur. Okay, awesome. So
Double Sword. I think that one's pretty good. I haven't been playing. I played last season. I played a lot. I really hate how far you go back on seasons. I feel like it's 30. It's a lot.
Points, yeah.
And every time I come back and I'm like, oh, now I'm 20 again. I'm just like, all right.
I will say with the new update, every time you break, here's 7, but here's the kicker. I just read this while we were doing this podcast. The kicker here is that you're going to get you only need 7, but instead of each time you break 70, 80, 90, you go to 95, 85, 75. Now you're going to only go up to 73, 83, 93. So you're not going to go to the halfway mark the second you break that bracket. But the other thing, it's the same. Yeah, literally, just less. Ridiculous. Dumb. The one thing, it's ridiculous. The one thing I will say is that they're adding weekend missions. Weekend missions offer more goals and rewards for players beyond their current daily missions and weekly missions. Turns out people on the weekends are not playing enough, so they're trying to bring people to play on the weekends. Win games to earn credits. Win games with season pass cards. Don't spend time with your kids. Gold. Win games with newly released cards to earn tokens. That is a brand new one. If we can get some tokens, a lot more players can get more newer cards. So again, super cool on the Marvel Snap side. I've been having a blast with it. But yeah,
it's fun. Very good.
Honestly, right now you should only be playing Zelda, nothing else, and you should probably not be buying shit coins anymore. Is that correct, Crier? Those are the 2 things you should be doing. Don't buy shit coins, play Zelda, listen to NerdFT Radio, and head over to the NRN Discord. That pretty much wraps it up for us. We'll catch you guys later this week or next week for another episode of NerdFT Radio. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.